out. All right, let's talk about also continue about the personal brand. The most important thing on this slide is what others think of you. You're going to go, well, I didn't know, but I didn't know that. 7 years into my position, I go, what do you mean other people? I got to worry about what other people think. Yes, you do. You want to have a promotion? You want to move up in a company? You want to do more things if you're working for someone and you're not your own entrepreneur? You got to care about what other people's thoughts are. And that is really key about what a personal brand is. Because see, everybody thinks branding is a company brand. Like, it's not. It's your own personal brand. Again, we're talking about personal branding during this next few minutes, you know. Also, what values do you bring to the table? Remember what I told you? You know, you got to understand what you bring as a value, what you're unique about. Again, you got to find your target audience. What's your market? You know, what's going on? And then you've got to figure out affirmation, or you've got to figure out what you love to do, okay? And who you are. That's part of your brand, you know, part of your brand messaging, stuff like that. Why do we have a personal brand? Who cares, Chip? I mean, why do I need one? Well, I think I don't even have to read. I'm not going to read this slide. I'll just tell you what I think. You need one for a number of reasons. One is because if you do want to get promoted, you do want to become vice president of a company, you want to become president, you want to build your repertoire inside of a company, you want to get somewhere, you got a means to an end, then you've got to make sure you understand what your boss wants. You got to have that, what I call in one of my books, you have got to engage that boss. You have to have the engagement rules, the rules of engagement. And what are the rules of engagement? Why personally? Because you got to figure out immediately when you take on a position, when you change positions, when you have a new boss or your current boss, go in there tomorrow and say, how do you want to communicate? How often do you want to communicate? What's your expectations? How can you get me to the point B, to point C, to point D? How do we end up over here? What do I need to do to become what I need you to help me become? So it's really important, rules of engagement that you need to go talk to your boss. And also, how does that help you right now? My gosh, if you're really good at personal branding, you're going to gain more customer relationships. You're going to build better customer relationships. They're going to understand who you are. You're going to increase sales and increase your earnings. You're also going to lay the foundation for your future success. It is however you define it, but if you've got that personal brand that people like, that understand you, you're going to grow your professional network, and that's going to give you more professional opportunities. You know, and I can't stress enough. And when I repeat things over and over again during these conversations, it's because I want you to take it to heart. I want you to take it home with you. I want you to understand what that means moving forward tomorrow. How can you start tomorrow to start to build your personal brand? Because it does matter what someone else thinks of you. It does matter, even though I could give a fat rat's whatever about that. But in real life, it makes a difference. Any questions right now? Jack coming in all about why a personal brand, what is a personal brand, that kind of stuff. Anything I want to get answered?
Well, looks like nobody's asking any questions right now.
Okay.
Give them a lot of really great information.
Well, let me ask someone right now and see if somebody will come through the chat. Okay, listen up, everyone on here. All right, so what is I haven't even gone over it yet, but I'm wanting to know if you know this answer. So what's the most important recognition you can receive if you work for a company? Again, what's the most important recognition you can receive if you work for a company? A, is it a company recognition? B, is it industry recognition? C, is it customer recognition? Which one of those is the most important? I'd love to have a couple people answer that through you, Jack.
So it looks like we're starting to get some answers in, and right now it looks like it's overwhelmingly customer recognition.
Wow. Hey. All right. You know, most people don't answer that customer recognition. So I'm going to tell you that customer recognition, in my opinion, And industry recognition is the most important thing you can hang your hat on. Okay, I'm going to tell you that, no question about it. But you want to know what the real answer is, Jack? The real answer is, in the real world, and I'm sorry to say this, you didn't hear it, but I guess for me, company recognition is really, really important. And why? Okay, I'm going to ask that question. Somebody come back. Why would Chip, I believe in customer recognition. That's what I stand up for. I believe in industry, but I'm going to teach you that the real world will tell you company recognition. Now, obviously, if you work for a company, okay? So why is that? Anybody want to throw back an answer?
All right, I think some people are
Why
typing.
Why is a company recognition so darn important? Probably too important.
I think people are still typing in the meantime. I'm going to try and answer.
Jack, what do you think?
So I think it is because, maybe this is a little vain, but because the company is the people that you work with and everything, the more recognition that you get within your company, the more respect and more opportunities you get within your company.
Okay, anybody else coming through with anything typed? And I'll wait for the answer.
We got some answers, yeah. Keeps you employed, right?
You know, whoever said that, amen. Amen, so it keeps you employed. That's one thing. What else?
You know, along the lines of that, gets you promotions, gets yourself noticed as someone who gets results.
Well, you know what? Whoever did should win an award, win the brownie points. They're exactly right, because they control your purse strings, the purse strings. The boss does, the whatever. Perception is reality. That's another talk I do. It doesn't matter if you didn't do it, but if your boss or someone thinks you did do it, you did it. And so you got to kind of get that in your mind and go, okay, I didn't do it, but I did. Now, how do I get better? What do I do? So there's no question about it that the company, unfortunately, in my opinion, the company recognition is the most powerful, especially if you want to get promoted or you want to get a raise, those kind of things. Good. I'm glad that. Anything else before I move on?
Yeah, we have a question. What are some ways to get feedback about personal branding?
Oh, that's a great. Can they hold that thought? Guys, it's one of my most powerful messages here coming up. Hold that question, Jack. Don't let me. If it's not a question, I want to kind of keep it. But yes, I have exactly what you'll do, and how to do it. So let me just hold that thought. Okay. Remember I just told you about personal branding and the recognition? Well, you know, it does lead to professional opportunities. And the company recognition, industry recognition and is important, and the customer recognition. And to be honest with you, personal branding is great for a mentor. So I don't know if you've been mentored or if you're a mentee. Either way, personal branding is so critical. That actually ties in a little later on with how you get feedback. You can get feedback from a mentor, you know, and we'll discuss that. That's one way to get feedback about your personal brand. But the most important thing, again, I'm going to tell you that I believe that customer recognition, if you're good in whatever industry you're in, I don't care if it's in finance industry of a company. I don't care what career you're in. You know, I'll go back to a talk we gave a few weeks ago. Everyone's in sales. So who's ever on this call, we're all in sales. But the customer, when you please the customer and the customer speaks highly of you, you won. And really industry recognitions too, to me, because when your peers in the industry believe in you and they like you and think you know what you're doing, you win. But again, the real world will tell you, and I'll tell you that I wish somebody would have told me this 35 years ago. I wish somebody would have taught me about personal branding, because I could talk about my own stories coming up. You know, I've been there, done there, and taken the test. And I'm just telling you, so we're going, you know, I just want to know that company recognition, you know, someone told me this and said, be careful, you know, what you say, go talk to your boss, make sure you set guidelines up with them. Maybe I would have been better served, but I'm glad I can share about it now.